11:23 p.m. He's sitting on the edge of the couch. Not in it, on the edge of it. The way you sit in a waiting room when you still think someone's going to call your name. The TV's been paused for 20 minutes on some menu screen he doesn't remember loading. Blue light on his face. Blue light on the coffee table. Blue light on the wedding ring he keeps spinning around his finger without noticing he's doing it. The phone's in his left hand, dimmed all the way down so nobody upstairs catches the glow under the door frame and comes asking what he's still doing awake. He's opened the calculator. Not the Notes app, not a browser. The calculator. Because numbers feel safer than words right now. Numbers don't follow up. Numbers don't ask how you're doing. He's typed 48 minus 78. Hit equals. -30. He stares at it. -30. That's the number. If the men in his family average out to 78, his dad made it to 71, his grandfather to 84, split the difference, be generous. Then the ledger on his life reads -30. 30 years of whatever this is supposed to be. He clears the screen, types it again. 48 minus 78, -30. Like maybe the math will be different the second time. This is what he calls a systems check. Not a breakdown, not a midlife anything, just a routine audit, the same way he'd run diagnostics on a production server at 2 a.m. when the tickets started piling up. He's not panicking, he's reviewing. That's the story he needs to believe for the next 90 minutes, or he's not going to sleep at all. Here's the thing his face is doing, though. Nothing. Not a twitch. If Lisa walked down the stairs right now for a glass of water, she'd see a man watching TV. She wouldn't even ask. That's the agreement. That's been the agreement for about 9 years now, give or take. He does the math on the marriage too sometimes, but not tonight. Tonight is about the bigger spreadsheet. Because Robert has a theory. He's had this theory for about 15 years, and it's the only thing holding the architecture of his days together. The theory goes like this. If he just puts his head down through 2 more promotion cycles, VP by 52, SVP by 56, realistic, achievable, he's modeled it. And if he maxes the 401k every year without flinching, and if he doesn't complain, doesn't cause friction, doesn't become one of those guys HR has to have a conversation about, then the second half opens up. Then Lisa softens. Then the kids call on their own. Then he wakes up one morning and the first 25 years of grinding retroactively make sense because they were the down payment on something real. That's the if. That's always been the if. And he's been waiting for the then to deploy for so long he doesn't even notice anymore that the then is a file that doesn't exist on the server. He keeps clicking the icon. Nothing opens. He tells himself the network's just slow. He switches apps. LinkedIn. The feed loads in the dark and his pupils contract and he scrolls, thumb moving like it belongs to someone else. Here's Dave from his first internship, CFO now. Here's Mark from the Accenture project, founded something, sold it, posting about gratitude. Here's a guy he genuinely cannot remember, but they have 43 mutuals, and he just rang the bell at the NYSE. Robert reads the post, reads the comments, reads the reposts of the comments. And the lie he tells himself, and this is the big one, this is the one he'd defend in a deposition, is that he's researching the market, staying sharp, tracking compensation bands, understanding where the industry is heading so he can position himself for the next move. He's not jealous. He's gathering intelligence. That's what he'd say if you asked him, and he'd say it with a straight face, because at this point he believes it about 60% of the way. The other 40% knows exactly what this is. This is roll call. This is taking attendance at his own funeral and checking off every guy who made it out of the building before the fire. His thumb keeps moving. There's a specific flavor of posture happening to his body right now that he won't register until tomorrow when his lower back tells him about it. He's curled forward, phone 4 inches from his face, shoulders rolled in like he's protecting the screen from weather. A 48-year-old man, in his own paid-off in 11 years living room, hunched over a phone at 11:31 p.m., reading about a stranger's IPO and calling it professional development. He doesn't dismiss the TV menu. He could. It's one button. He knows which button. But dismissing it would mean the room goes dark, and then it's just him and the hum of the fridge and the little click of the hallway clock, and he's not ready for that yet. The blue glow is doing a job. The blue glow is company. The blue glow is the last piece of evidence that this is still watching TV and not whatever this actually is. He clears the calculator one more time, types 48 minus 78, stares at -30. The number hasn't moved. The number's not going to move. And somewhere underneath the status report he's running on himself, underneath the promotion timeline and the vesting schedule and the LinkedIn roll call, there's a much smaller, much quieter question starting to boot up in the background. He closes the app before it finishes loading. Here's what Robert won't say. Won't think in a full sentence. Won't let finish loading in his own head. He's not actually afraid of dying. That's the punchline of the whole 11:31 p.m. systems check. And it's the reason the calculator keeps pulling him back like a slot machine. Death, he can handle. Death is just the final line item, the last entry in the ledger. And Robert is a man who respects a clean ledger. You close the books, you roll off the project, you hand over the documentation, fine. What he's actually afraid of is something much smaller and much uglier. He's afraid every important decision in his life was already made. And not recently, not at 40, not at 45. Somewhere around 34, 35, in a conference room he doesn't remember, on a Tuesday he'd never be able to place. He made a sequence of choices on full autopilot. Said yes to the job in the suburbs. Said yes to the mortgage that locked him into the commute. Said yes to the second kid before he'd finished processing the first one. Said yes, 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 because saying no would have required him to have an opinion, and he was too tired to have opinions back then. So he just let the current take him and called it maturity. And now at 48, he's sitting in the dark realizing the rest of his life is just the receipt printing out. The transaction already happened. He's just waiting for the paper to finish feeding through the machine. Every promotion cycle, every Christmas, every "how was your day" at the dinner table, it's all just ink on a receipt for a purchase he made when he wasn't paying attention. That's the thing he can't say. Because if he says it, he has to do something about it. And if he has to do something about it, he has to admit he doesn't know what that something would even be. So instead, he has the family. Here's where it gets ugly. Here's the part of the autopsy nobody wants to watch. Robert has been using providing for the family as a shield for roughly 2 decades, and that shield is so perfectly engineered, so socially bulletproof, that nobody, not his wife, not his therapist if he had one, not his own mother, can get past it. I'm doing it for them. 4 words, nuclear-grade excuse. Because think about what that sentence actually does. It takes every miserable choice he's ever made, the job he stopped liking in 2014, the city he never wanted to live in, the weekends he spent answering emails instead of teaching Michael to throw a ball, and it relabels them. It turns cowardice into sacrifice. It turns avoidance into duty. It turns "I was too scared to ask what I wanted" into "I was too noble to ask what I wanted." And the genius of it, the really dark, elegant, architectural genius of it, is that it never has to be tested. Because the family exists, the mortgage exists, the tuition bills exist, the evidence is right there. He can point at it. Look at what I built. And nobody can say, But did you want to? Because that would be monstrous. That would be cruel. You don't ask a man who's provided for 18 years if he would have preferred a different life. It's rude. It's ungrateful. It's not a conversation decent people have. So he never has it. Not with Lisa, not with himself. That's the door. That's the door he keeps locking from the inside. Every time the question starts to surface, would I choose this again? He just pulls up the receipts, braces, summer camp, the deck he had redone in 2019. See? Look at all this. Question dismissed, thread closed, ticket resolved. The hidden payoff, and this is the part that'll sting, is that the excuse only works if he stays miserable. Think about that for a second. If he ever got genuinely happy inside this life, the shield would dissolve. Because you don't need a shield when you're happy. The shield only has a job when there's something to defend against, and what it's defending against is the question. So a small, quiet, absolutely sociopathic part of him needs the exhaustion, needs the resentment, needs the faint background static of, I gave up everything for you people. Because the day that static goes quiet, he has to face the original purchase order and ask if he would have signed it. This is the sick math. This is what Robert's been running in the background for half his adult life without ever opening the file. He calls it ambition. He calls it responsibility. He calls it bandwidth. But underneath all of it, the algorithm is just, keep moving fast enough that the question can't catch up. Productivity as a running start. Every Slack notification, every Q4 target, every 6 a.m. flight. Not ambition, camouflage. If he's busy enough, important enough, tired enough, nobody will ever ask him the one thing he can't answer, including himself. And the tragedy, the really heartbreaking, quiet tragedy of it, is that he used to be someone. At 23, he had opinions about movies. At 26, he wrote bad poetry in a notebook he's since thrown away. At 28, he told a friend at a wedding that he wanted to live in Lisbon for a year, just to see. That guy existed. That guy had a pulse. And somewhere between then and now, Robert made a trade he never signed off on. He traded the guy with opinions for the guy with a 401k. And the guy with the 401k has been standing guard over the grave of the guy with opinions for so long, he forgot they were ever the same person. He unlocks the phone again, opens a message thread with Lisa, starts typing, deletes it, starts again, deletes it. He's done this, conservatively, 4,000 times in this marriage. The deletions are the marriage. The sent messages are just admin. He locks the phone, looks at the coffee table. There's a water ring on it from a glass nobody remembers setting down. He stares at the ring, really stares at it. Because staring at the ring is easier than finishing the sentence he just started in his head, which was, I don't know if I would have picked any of this. And that sentence is the one he's been outrunning since 2011. He picks the phone back up. Not to type, just to hold it. The screen's still on the calculator. -30 is still sitting there, patient, like a receptionist who's been waiting for him to finish his paperwork. And this is where Robert does the thing that's going to eat the next 40 minutes of his life, and he won't notice until the TV clicks itself off. He starts extrapolating. His dad died at 71. Heart attack on a Tuesday mowing the lawn. Not dramatic, not cinematic, just stopped. So if Robert gets his dad's genes, and he's got his dad's build, his dad's blood pressure, his dad's quiet relationship with salt, then 71 is the number. He clears the calculator, types 71 minus 48. 23. 23 years. Feels like a lot. For about 4 seconds. Then his brain does what brains do at 11:47 p.m. It starts cutting. 23 years, sure, but how many of those are actually good? His knees already make a sound on the stairs. His back went out last March lifting a cooler. Call it 15 good years. Maybe. Be generous. He's been generous all night. Call it 15 years where the body still answers when he calls. 15 summers. He clears the calculator, types 15 times 52. 780. 780 weeks, which means, and his thumb is moving on its own now, the way it moves through LinkedIn, the way it moves through the deletions with Lisa, 780 Saturdays. He types it out just to see it. 780. That's the whole inventory. That's the warehouse. And Saturdays are the unit, because Saturdays are the only day that was ever his. Monday through Friday belongs to the company. Sunday belongs to the dread of Monday. Saturday is the one square on the calendar where, theoretically, a man could have a life. So the real number isn't 23 years. The real number is 780 mornings where he could, in theory, decide what happens. Then the cut gets meaner, because Emma's 18. She's got one more summer at home before she moves into the dorm in August, and after that she's visiting. Thanksgiving, Christmas, maybe spring break if the boyfriend situation allows it. Call it 4 visits a year, for maybe 10 years before she's got her own kids, her own in-laws, her own reasons. 40 visits. He types it. 40. 40. He's going to hear Emma laugh, the real laugh, the one she does when she's not performing for anyone. The one that used to happen at the kitchen island when she was 9 and he was making pancakes badly on purpose. Maybe 40 more times. Probably less, because she doesn't laugh like that around him anymore. She laughs like that on FaceTime with her friends in her room with the door closed. He's not in the room where that laugh happens. He hasn't been in that room he can't remember. He genuinely cannot remember the last time he made his daughter laugh for real. And here's the thing about the last time. The last time is never labeled. That's the cruelty. Nobody walks up to you on a Tuesday in 2019 and says, "Hey, heads up, this is the last time your son's going to climb into your lap." It just happens and then it stops happening, and you only notice 5 years later sitting on a couch in the dark with a calculator. He starts cataloging. Can't stop himself. The last time Michael asked him for advice about anything, probably sophomore year of high school, 4 years ago, about a girl. Robert gave him a bad answer, something about playing it cool, and Michael's face did a thing, and Michael never asked him anything again. That was the last time. He didn't know it was the last time. The last time Lisa reached for his hand in a movie theater. He cannot place it. Could be 2017, could be 2015. The data is corrupted. The last time he felt genuinely excited about a Monday, he was 26. And this is the downward spiral. This is the trap Robert built for himself and walked into at 11:53 p.m. on a Thursday. Because once you start the last's inventory, you cannot stop it. Every memory reclassifies itself in real time. That camping trip in 2021 wasn't a nice weekend. It was the last camping trip. That phone call with his mom last Sunday wasn't checking in. It was one of a finite, rapidly decreasing number of phone calls he has left with his mother, who's 76. The math metastasizes. 780 Saturdays becomes 40 laughs, becomes maybe 12 more Christmases where everyone's still in the same room becomes, and this one lands like a dropped glass, possibly one more Thanksgiving where both his parents are alive. 1. Maybe 0. The statistics don't care about his feelings, and the really vicious part, the part that shows you how the mind punishes itself for staying asleep too long, is this. He is not going to do anything about any of this. He knows that already. He's known it since the calculator said -30. Tomorrow he will wake up at 6:15. He will make coffee in the same mug. He will drive the same route. He will answer the same emails. He will not call Emma. He will not touch Lisa's hand at dinner. He will not tell Michael he's sorry about the girl advice in sophomore year. Because the spiral isn't a call to action. The spiral is a substitute for action. It's the mind's way of feeling the grief of a life not lived without having to actually change the life. You get to cry the tears internally and keep the routine. Best of both worlds. Worst of both worlds. Same thing. The phrase shows up in his head, fully formed, uninvited. The last time I'll ever... He doesn't finish it. He doesn't have to. The sentence is a door, and he's been standing in front of it all night. The TV screen times out, just gives up on him. The blue glow dies, and the living room drops into a black so complete he has to blink twice to make sure his eyes are open. And now he can hear it. The refrigerator, the little click of the clock in the hallway, the house breathing around him, indifferent the way houses are. He doesn't move. The phone's still in his hand, screen dark now. -30 sitting underneath, waiting for him to come back. He doesn't move. Upstairs, a floorboard shifts. Lisa turning over in her sleep, probably, or the house cooling. He used to know the difference between those two sounds. He doesn't anymore. He files it under, "Not my problem right now," and lets it go. His eyes adjust, slowly. Shapes come back. The edge of the coffee table, the darker rectangle of the TV, the water ring, invisible now, but he knows where it is. He could point to it in the dark. Somewhere on the second floor, Emma's door has that strip of light under it. She's still awake, probably on her phone, probably laughing at something. Not with him. Never with him. Not the real laugh, not anymore. He could go up. He could knock. He could say something, anything. "Hey, it's late. How was your day?" He runs the scenario. He watches himself do it in his head. He watches her face do the small, polite thing it does now when he tries, and he stays on the couch. Because the thought of trying and watching it not land is worse than the math. Worse than -30. Worse than 780 Saturdays. At least the math is honest. The math doesn't pretend. He closes his eyes. The fridge cycles off. The silence gets a layer deeper. For about 4 seconds, there is no sound in the house at all, and in those 4 seconds, Robert understands something he will not remember tomorrow. That this, right here, the couch, the dark, the phone going cold in his hand, is what he traded everything for. The fridge kicks back on. Bottom line, he doesn't move.